Very good afternoon, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to building trading terminal from scratch using Python and prompting techniques. We are in the 24th session, right? So every session we are building something new. We are pushing ourselves forward. And today's session, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build something. A new route is what we're gonna build, right? So new route, like placing orders based on what? So placing the orders based on keyboard scalping, right? That's what we're going to call it. So maybe up, down arrow keys. So let's see if at all we could be able to build the entire front end in one shot itself. So that's what we're going to do here. So there is a Python library called Click. First, we'll explore what is that Click is all about, right? So let's go back. I'll bring ChatGPT here. I'll go to a new thread. So I'm going to ask which library supports recognizing keyboard press for a web application in Python. Right. So most likely, I think it is from Click, I believe. A lot of packages could be there. In Flask itself, there is a provision to get the keys, but I think we should not be using the backend, right? We should be getting the front end for getting the keys, right? Backend, we can use Click. You can, with a click of a button, you'll be able to get that. But the problem is we'll be having a front end, right? So the front end, the interface is only HTML and the JavaScript and CSS. So what it is saying is we have to use JavaScript only to get the keys. We have to transmit using a WebSocket. So we have to use WebSocket to transmit. Instantly we have to transmit, right? So if at all there is anything is happening, so then only we should be able to process it, right? So if it is only Python, we can use Click, I think. So we can ask then can't we use Click? Can we use Click for a web application? I think we cannot use Click. I thought we can use Click, but Click is mostly for command line interface, right? So probably uh, Click works if it is like a built-in command line interface, not for a web application, not for an interactive web application, it seems. Right? So web application operate in a completely different environment. So browser is the only interaction. So we have to get the keyboard press or mouse events, any mouse click or keyboard click. It's more of an event. Anytime it can generate. So whenever it is generating that interaction, we have to capture it using JavaScript, and then we have to send it to the server side for further processing. Right? So Click works only on terminal or shell. So means it's more of a command line tool, not for web application. Anyways, so I think so we have to explore in a different method only. The method itself changes. I thought Click might support web also, but Click is not for a web-based tool. That's good. So we use Python framework for backend, use JavaScript on the client side to capture keyboard events and send the data to the Python backend Ajax or WebSockets. Either you have to use Ajax or we have to use WebSocket. Both will be able to handle it in real time. WebSocket will be even more faster. But for time being, I think we'll go with Ajax itself. Because WebSocket means we have to change the architecture a little bit. As of now, I think our application doesn't support Flask and -socket.io. As of now, we haven't integrated that package yet. So we'll use Ajax itself to capture it. So front-end integration, we have to, so backend will be getting the keys, a separate route we'll be creating. So it will be keep on listening for any keyboard press. If that particular keyboard press is there, then we should be able to get that, right? And then front-end integration, obviously, front-end, this is where we are having this. So we can use socket.io. So this way we can use it. This way we can use it socket.io. So because socket.io we are using in the front end and we'll be sending it in the back end. In the back end also we can use socket.io, but let me check if I can use it or not. If I'm going to change it, right, the app itself going to change over here. Socket.io.run. Instead of app.run, I have to change it to socket.io.run. And we also have to initialize the socket as well. So this will be like real time. Socket.io is like more of a real time stuff. The moment you press keyboard, instantly the order will be placed. That is something good. Okay, so that's a rough idea. We got that, but let's see what Claude is supposed to recommend to us. So I'll go to Claude. All the files I'll be uploading once the session has been done, right? So what I also done here is like I've taken a zip file of day 22, 23 separately. So I'll be uploading that relevant folders in the relevant context, relevant course section. I'll be uploading these files. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to share this line. There is a way to export. We can export it, but it's not coming in a readable format. If I export it, it's getting downloaded. This all these conversation, right? It gets downloaded as an MD file. This is a markdown file. Later on, if possible, I'll share this markdown file. Later on, you have to convert into a HTML file. Maybe you can convert it and then you can read it back. The MD means markdown file, right? So like kind of a GitHub base. Let me show you how the markdown file looks like. I'll open that markdown file. Just give me a sec. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm back here. So we can export only this as an kind of an MD file. MD file is also readable. Let me try if I can share that. If at all, if it is possible, I'll share this MD file. So more or less, it'll be looking something like this. So all these conversation, but I doubt we can extract any meaningful information from here. Like all these are the information which has been shared to Claude, and Claude responds back with commands. There is no prompt. Prompt wise, I would say like, so there's a task, right? There's a task is where the prompt is. And these are the things it is doing in the backend. So it's reading these files, all the files it's reading up over here. But it's very difficult to read. It's not like kind of a thread or conversation or something like that. Entire conversation is there, but it's very difficult to read, right? You can see that the amount of conversation that we had used to build the voice-based orders. So lines and lines of comment. It is like more. These are the things Claude had read. This is like for $5. Probably we had another $9 in the morning as well. One more thing. But these are the information that we communicated to Claude. All right, so we'll start a new one. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start a new one. I'm going to ask to read a couple of things, right? So what I want to read is read the blueprint or routes that I want to read it. So I'm going to spot the folder. I'm going to add the folder here. The folder is OpenTerminal/routes. And I also wanted to read app.py and then models.py and layout.html. Along with that, I also want Claude to understand. And one more thing, what is the final thing? Voice-based trading. Voice-based trading. Why I wanted to read voice-based trading? Because that is where the place order API details are available there, right? So for that reason, I'm going to do that. I wanted to read more as well. So maybe I wanted to read about the search button. So how the search has been done, which we had done in watch list. Later on, I'll come to that part. So first we'll make it to read something, the basics about OpenTerminal. It's going to read everything. Yeah, I think so. Now it has an update about all these files, right? So it had an idea about how to place orders in the Angel also. So now I'm going to say, let's see if we can build everything in one shot. One more thing I have to inform, like the search option. If you remember, we had a search, right? So we have a search icon, which will go back and search from the order book with that controls. Because let's say I'll go to the dashboard. I have to log in again. Let me log in again. Then we have TOTP. So TOTP is 961.8. Yeah, so we got into the trading terminal here. Now this watch list search symbols, right? That also I'm going to say is like watch list search symbols. Also read about. I don't know what file it is. I can go back and search, but I'm going to say like also read about watch list search symbol functionality, right? So just let it read about that file so that uh, it gets warmed up. It knows about OpenTerminal, about most of the services. So it's checking which functionality is related to that watch list search. It's able to get that. So now these are the information it knows about it, right? It knows about what are the details it knows about it now. Voice-based trading system integrates with a comprehensive watch list functionality. Voice-based trading core features, and then watch list and symbol search features. So it can now search symbol name, company name, exchange segment, instrument type, expiries, strike price. The result is limited to 10 matches. This is what I want to know that. So now it can know how to search from the database also. Right. So now we'll build so now I want to build this application. So my prompt goes like this. I want to build a keyboard based scalping in a new route. Let's call it as like slash scalper. Right. So scalper is what we're gonna build. It's a keyboard scalper where the user should be able to select the symbol, right? So the symbol they should be able to search symbol with a search box. So what else we need? So user should be able to set the quantity. So when we select the symbol itself, automatically the exchange will be taken care. So exchange should be selected automatically from the uh, database. So exchange and other relevant and parameters should be selected automatically from the database. So what else we need for placing the order? We need symbol, we need token, we need exchange, we need quantity, and we are always going to place a market order only. It's always place a market order. That's what we're going to do here. Always place a market order. Exchange, token, and other relevant parameters. Other relevant parameters should be selected automatically from the database itself. Always place a market order. Up arrow is for, let's say, we can say like up arrow. will be for buying, and down arrow is for selling. Down arrow key will be listening for selling. Build a beautiful, build a interactive dashboard controls and order history to track the details. Okay, that's what I'm going to do here. Let's see. With this alone, we'll be able to do that or not. I'm not sure, but this could be the basic framework. But let's see if at all, if it is able to build things. So what I'm going to communicate, I want to build a keyboard-based scalping in a new route. So where the user should be able to select the symbol with a search box, set the quantity, set the quantity exchange token. So probably the exchange and token, it should be another exchange token and other relevant parameters should be selected automatically from the database, right? Always place a market order. Up arrow will be buying and down arrow will be listening for selling. Build an interactive dashboard controls for tracking the details. Yeah, details. So that's what I want to do here. Let's see. Let's see what we got. We can build it comprehensively and in a very enhanced manner, but first we'll try to get the very basic things right. So JavaScript only it should use. Communication, I don't know what it's going to use. Let's see. So new route for scalper, HTML template for the scalping interface, JavaScript for keyboard controls and order management. It's using JavaScript only for capturing the keys, and it's going to send to the backend. So it's going to use a route called scalper route. And there's also a search functionality for searching the symbols. Exactly the same way we search using the watchlist service. It's using the existing search symbol, the watchlist service. And the orders, get recent orders from the user. Okay, let's see. So there's an order function is there. It's going to get orders. I don't know what get orders from for the user. We can reuse the existing symbol search functionality and order placement service. Order placement service, I want to build something new itself. We should have kept it common, but for time being, I'll keep it separately. So I'm going to instruct it in the next prompt. I thought it should be building something different prompt, but it's trying to use the existing order type itself. Maybe we need some controls like MAS, those kind of controls. We may have to keep it, right? So anyways, I'll ask it to refer voice-based trading so that we should be able to build it pretty faster. Okay, so it's built the HTML, JavaScript it had built. It also built the route.py as well. But that's not alone. We have to ask it to refer voice-based controls so that it should be able to get it properly. It's adding the route. It should be adding the route in multiple places. In app.py also it is adding the route. init.py also, it is adding those routes. Well and good. And finally, it should add in the layout.html as well. Sometimes it may forget. Yeah, it forgot. So anyways, so as of now, we are just playing with the up and down arrow only. But my control is like, so don't use the existing place order controls. Use something like how we used in voice-based order mechanism. Refer the Angel 1 Smart API section there. Smart API place order section. Because I want to, as of now, it's trying to place order using the existing route from the watch list based order placement. So that I don't want to use that. I want to build a new one. However, it's a good idea to use a common one for voice based order or one common route. But here we're having different route for place orders. That's not a good idea, but for time being, so to build something faster, to demonstrate something faster, I'm just going to do that. So those kind of things, if you want to build a common route, we have to think, we have to design, we have to plan, and then we have to execute. So as of now, we are trying to build on the fly. So let's not use any common routes. It's using a scalper service.py, like how we had this voice order hyphen service.py. Likewise, we are having scalper underscore service.py. It's mimicking the same thing. It's replicating. It's basically it's duplicating. Here it is auth token. It's getting from the database, and symbol token it's getting from the database. Exchange segment, everything it's getting from the database. Mapping is also done accordingly. I think one more thing we have to say that it's like scalper route.py. That also got fixed. So now we don't have any common route. For scalper alone, we have a separate route for placing orders. Even in scalper.js also, we are changing that controls. Let's see how the front end looks like, whether we have all the controls or not. I believe we don't have any controls, but and one more thing is like we're having this every 5 seconds once. It will be refreshing the trading history, right? The trading history, even though order might be placed immediately, the order history will take like 5 seconds to update it. So that is what they had done. That's not also not a good idea. We have to use something like a socket. In that case, it could be instant. But here, for time being, we'll go with this auto refresh mechanism itself. So the order history will get refreshed every 5 seconds once. I'll be looking for any new orders. If new orders are there, it will be coming up over there. Let's go back and run the application. The application is already running. So the thing here is we need to add it, add the route scalper to the layout.html that we need to add. But right now, if you could see that, I don't think scalper has been added, right? Is this how I build a production level application? If you ask me, absolutely no. Every time I build an application, I also parallelly do some documentation as well. Along with that, if you would have seen in OpenAlgo, the docs.openalgo.in. So any new feature I'm adding, I'll be always updating the documentation also. So it's not just building the software alone, right? It's a lot of peripheral things you have to do it. Otherwise, one fine day, what you built, what you upgraded, there won't be any record about it. If you want to check back, there won't be any trails, audit trails will not be there. That will be difficult when you're going to build some bigger applications. So whatever we had built in OpenTerminal is like on the fly kind of things only we had done. To some extent, it has been structured, but I would say like, will I take this to production? If you ask me, absolutely no, I will not take this to production. But this is like some basic raw thing that we got. After that, we have to do a lot of fine tuning, documentation, and then we will be finally going for like testing and production. It's going to be like a lot of procedures has been involved. All right, let's see what we have now. We have the scalper. So keyboard-based scalper. The symbols are not looking good. Somehow it's not using the daisy symbol. Let's see, I'll try with BHEL. That's coming, that's good. So I'm able to get that select symbol. Quantity is there. Let's see if I can press up arrow. Error placing orders. I'm just getting error placing orders. I'll say like the daisy UI controls are not looking good. Number one. Daisy UI controls are not looking good in Scalper, and provide Angel API request and response information. Make the application modern and interactive with very good aesthetics. Good aesthetics. I'm not. If you ask me, it's working good, but somehow I'm not convinced with that. So I want something better. So the alignments are not looking good. So we have this controls, that is fine. This text box is definitely not a Daisy UI text box, first of all. So the front end has been changed. Let's save this. Now it is updating the JavaScript to handle the improved UI and API logging. Let's save that as well. Now, one more thing that you need to understand from the design perspective is like you should not be calling your own APIs every 5 seconds once. That's not a good idea, right? You have to use different mechanism to do that. But it works. If you ask me, it works. But will it be scalable? If you ask me, your application will break. Even if some 10, 20 people are going to onboard on your application, it's going to have a lot of API queries. Every second, you'll be hitting like thousands of queries you're going to get. So that's not a good idea to use something like polling method. You should not use that. You should use some other methods, some other design techniques. Okay, what do we got here? That's a school. So symbol name, let's say BHEL. We have some interactive, this how many orders has been sent, how many buy orders, sell orders. Let's see. Then so it's able to fetch the symbol exchange token. Quantity, we have some cool controls. And yeah, so it say like API activity is ready, waiting for orders. So I'll press the up arrow. We get this action by 3 BHEL NSE. This is what we are getting from the front end. Back end, I don't see any controls over here. So I don't know what is communicated back to the API. So I'm going to say like this is what I'm just getting. So whenever this getting this unexpected token means it's a dangerous issue. So we have to struggle a lot last time to get that. So this is what I'm getting in the API activity. API activity is what I'm getting. And I'm getting this 400 error. Same thing, right? So same thing what we got last time. I'll also better try to provide the scalper.service, right? So let me check the scalper.service. This is route.py. We also have the scalper underscore service. Is it calling properly? Normal, trading symbol, instrument.token, action, exchange, market, API product type, quantity. I think maybe in the front end, we are not communicating whether it is MIS or something, right? So front end, we are not communicating that MIS controls. So in voice-based trading, right? So in voice-based trading, we're communicating this product type. Exchange, we are communicating. So these two things we have to communicate, right? So exchange and product type. So I need to add those things, I believe. I think that is not getting communicated to the backend. So if I go back to Scalper, select BHEL exchange, I think it is possible. But here it could send the exchange token. It could send from here itself. But the problem is if I press up arrow, so these are the information which is communicated to the backend, right? So action is communicated, buy is communicated, symbol is communicated, exchange is communicated. I also want to communicate the what? I also want to communicate the product type as well. I think the product type is missing. Please refer voice-based order controls where we implemented need similar controls for only product selection, which is like CNC, and then we have like MIS, we have like NRML, and in the back end to the mapping as we done in voice-based trading, right? So let's see what do we have here now. Product type is clearly missing. So it says like API product type is there, but we're not sending any product type from the front end. We're not sending any product type. So I ask for a product type selection and update the service to handle it properly. So first it is updating the product type selection. See, we can also configure something like this. If up arrow is pressed, it should buy a call option. Down arrow is pressed, it should sell the call option. Left arrow is pressed, it should buy a put option. Right arrow is pressed, it should exit the put option. Likewise, we can build that. But as of now, we'll keep it simple. Or we can also build something like you can send a basket of orders as well. Basket of orders you can buy, basket of orders you can sell, particularly for multi-leg options order. These are like kind of improvements, right? Now, as of now, we're not going to build any improvements. We're going to build only the basic prototype only. Basic functional prototype so that we'll get a fair idea how the context works. So mapping also, it is implementing. Finally, it is updating the scalper route to handle the product type parameter also. Earlier, we had the product type parameter, but we are not getting that parameter. All right, so let's save this. So all the mapping is coming from here, the valid product type. That is where the mapping is coming in. This watchlist service is what you're using it for common searching the symbols. All right, let's go and check it out. So hopefully this should work. Let's go and select it's a BHEL. So we can have this MAS, CNC, and NRML. Let's go with the MAS itself. Quantity. I'll select like 5 quantity. And let me pull up the first up arrow. Still, we are having like error placing orders. This time we are communicating MAS, NSE, BHL, EQ, quantity as 5, action. All those things we are communicating, still we are getting this error. Let's say that this is what we're getting. In backend, I don't see any API logs yet. We are not getting any API logs because we are getting 400 here itself. So it's referring the voice implementation, how it is taken care. Similarly, it is also trying to fix the error using the voice service. Some similarity that's seen. So the voice service is using http.client correctly. This is what method we are using it to place the orders, right? So http.client is used to call the APIs. There are various methods we can use. Either http.service is a package, or we can use a request. So let's save. We'll go back, refresh the page, get the selection as BHEL, select the symbol, then CNC and RML. Let's go with MAS 5. And then let's press the arrow key here. Let's see, up arrow, still error in placing orders. Still, I'll say like getting the same issue here. Still getting this. And unable to see any Angel API request or response. Because I don't know what message we're getting 400 error also. Means we are not receiving the properly, we are not receiving the message at all. So this orders is nothing but for checking the order history in real time. So every 5 seconds once it's keep on checking it. That's working fine. It's also checking the voice route as well to check how it handle the order placement. So more or less the scalper and voice is route both are similar only. That's why it's referring there. Well, the only difference is like we are using voice method. Here we are using keyboard method to place order. But fundamentally we have to place order from a front end controls. Keyboard it is recognizing properly. There also voice it is recognizing properly. So some small issue is what it should fix it up. So it's checking is market open. So it's able to get that. What else? It's adding some more controls over here. It's also adding the logging those controls as well. Action, quantity, symbol, product type. Let's save this. It's also updating the scalper underscore service.py to improve error handling and logging so that we get some proper details about what has been communicated in the front end, what is communicated in the back end. Save this. Anything else? Maybe something in HTML. Yeah, I think it had done. If you're getting green means whatever the task it has been provided has been completed. It's our duty to go back and check now whether things are working fine or not. Let's refresh again. Select BHEL. BHEL. Quantity will set to like 5 and press the up arrow. Error placing order. Still we're getting the same issue. Still same issue. This is what I'm getting here. So we're getting like 400 error. I don't know why we're getting this 400 error. Maybe it could be a mapping issue with the blueprint. CSRF protection, right? So that is another thing. It says CSRF protection blocks the request. Oh, come on. How come? I don't think CSRF can block the protection. Maybe it could be. So here they are including CSRF. Yeah, so CSRF token is what it is happening. What if the CSRF token is not sent? The application will not open at all. Let me try. Let me check if we need to add CSRF protection to the route. The error suggests that we're getting HTML instead of JSON, which often happens when CSRF protection blocks the request. So let's update the scalper route. Okay, maybe this also makes sense only. So which usually it's supposed to add a CSRF, but yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Front end also it should add a CSRF, right? I think front end it haven't, if back end it haven't included, front end also it may not included the CSRF, I believe. Let's see, front end also in the HTML also let it include the CSRF. I thought CSRF would have been added by default, but it haven't added. In the JavaScript also, it is including the CSRF token, which is very much mandatory for security purpose. Controls has been built. Now the communication has to take place. If the communication happens, the order punching will be happening pretty much faster. So front end template also, it is including the CSRF. So CSRF is used everywhere. Front end like Python, HTML, JavaScript, everywhere the CSRF token template has been used. Front end it's more of a template, but back end it is more of uh, the CSRF token we are collecting, and then we are checking whether the CSRF is there or not. Mostly for form security. So here in the meta tag, we are having this CSRF token. It also update the routes to import JSON and fix any missing imports. Okay. I think more or less by now it should be done with that. It's also updating the scalper.html to put the CSRF token in the head section where it belongs. So it's just replacing, instead of meta place, it's putting in different place, I think. Save that. Let's go back and check in the front end. Ah, still yet to update the layouts. I think something got messed up here. Something with respect to CSRF, it is creating an issue. So CSRF token is already included in the layout.html. So it's already included in the layout.html. So let's update the scalper.html to remove the duplicate token. So means in the HTML, we don't need to add, because already in the layout.html itself, it has been used. Layout.html is what we are using in every page. We are using layout.html. So which means we don't need to include exclusively, we don't need to include in scalper.html. Again, it is adding a route.py also. So let's update the scalper route to remove the CSRF token from the template, since it's already in layout.html. So maybe if it is in layout.html, it could be routing in a separate place. So I think we might already have a route for CSRF already. think in JavaScript also we may have to remove, I think, in that case. So if CSRF is not an issue, then what could be the issue? Let's see if this could fix the problem. Okay. VHEL. I'm going to press the up arrow. Yes, the order is getting placed. You see that it's scalping. Scalping has been working here, right? So you just set the quantity and it's been keep working good, right? So that's pretty interesting here. So it's keyboard based scalping, guys, right? So buy order is getting placed, sell order is getting placed, again buy order, sell order. I'm going to change the symbol here. Let's say I'm going to change it to like something like a Nifty future, Nifty. Nifty options will go with like 24,000 call option. Call option. So November typically. So first I'll refresh the screen here, right? Oh, it's also storing, it's also rendering this values as well. It's holding it. Right? It's keeping in memory. I don't know from where it is picking up. We're not updating it to the database, but still it is holding the. If I'm refresh the screen also, it's holding it. So Nifty 24,000 call option. So like quantity should be like it should be in terms of multiples of 25, right? Now, all those things I'm not going to go very detailed fashion. As of now, we're going to send only like plain vanilla quantities only. So there in place order, we had mentioned lot size also. We had mentioned various controls also. Like if it is futures, then it should show only NRML and MAS. If it is equity, it should show only CNC and MAS. Like that we had done. But here we're not going to do like that. We're going to keep it straightforward. All right, so let's do that. You see that it's placing the orders. So all these orders has been getting placed over here. That's a fast scalper. So how many buy orders, how many sell orders. So if at all any metric that we want to track, we can track it, right? We are not sending as of now like split orders and all. So split orders and all, if in case if we want to send, we can add more controls to that. So every message that we are also getting the success response as well, along with the time, what time the request has been sent, what was the response that we are getting from the broker. So everything has been clearly, it is coming in the front end. It's pretty easy to track as well. So everything we're able to see it in the back end as well. So all these orders that we fired, we're able to see over here as well. Right. So that's a keyboard based scalper. Not comprehensive, but the starting point, the very basic model is what we had built. But the outcome is like it came up in a very beautiful fashion. But what I don't want is like I seen this like a token as irrelevant. So I'm gonna remove that. First, it's working, so we'll save this because I don't want to keep on adding things. So keyboard based scalper. So that's done. So maybe I want to say like in the front end, I want to remove the front end, remove the uh, token details as we are not sending from front end. And it is irrelevant to show. Irrelevant to show to show. That's one thing. And probably something like exchange, I want to have something like badges. So while displaying the exchange, displaying the exchange, add some color coded badges. That'll enhance the look and feel pretty easy. I mean, very interesting look and feel is what you'll get. Maybe for NSE different exchange, so MCX different exchange. I would say like that's one of the fastest feature that we had built so far. There are many common modules we have to build here. That's one of the key learning. So that happens only if we sit and design, we brainstorm, then we have to come up with the common controls, because a lot of things, the place order itself, we have to share many places. The search, we are sharing at many places. Let's see how the front end goes. That goes away. Let's say I'll just select something like Reliance. Oh, come on, something got messed up. Something got messed up. I'm not able to select at all. I'm able to search, but I'm not able to select. That is why we have to stash the change. Oh, it's still coding. Okay. I thought like only the stuff we need to do only with HTML only. It's adding the badges and everything and removing the token handling. Save. If this works. Yeah, so we have this badges over here. The badge is also added over here. So that enhances the intra. That makes it pretty interesting. So say like 20 shares of Reliance. Then I'm going to place my arrow up arrow. Error placing order. That's not good. Once again, we end up getting this. Maybe the coding is still not completed yet. If not, we can always stash the changes. It says task completed, but somehow I'm just getting error. So I'm just going to copy it and then paste it to that. Let's see what it's going to say. Maybe it would have missed something. No, again, it's checking for the CSRF. No, 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 let's should not do that. Or maybe the JavaScript alone, it is adding the CSRF. If it is adding in HTML, it should be removed. JavaScript, yes, maybe required. Yeah, let's save this. No, I think we have it in layout.html. Last time it done the same problem. Let me cancel it and then I'll say like, we cancel this. I'm going to say like, layout.html already takes care of CSRF tokens. It's having a it's having a short-term amnesia. Now only it knows it had fixed the CSRF based tokens. Please refer. Earlier also you made the same mistake. Earlier also you made a similar mistake. In the same thread only we had that. And later you corrected the mistakes. So it might refer its own context, previous history, what it had done. It should be able to understand. Say you are right. I apologize for the confusion. Let's update the scalper route to be simpler since layout.html already handles CSRF. Anyway, scalping is working fine. The only thing is like we are trying to do enhancement and we got stuck here. But I think I am able to refer the past conversation. It should be able to understand what it had done from the last conversation, how it corrected the mistakes. So let's see. So this keyboard-based scalping is like kind of a dangerous feature, but need to be handled properly. Maybe we need to have some controls like enable or disable keyboard scalping, something like that. Accidentally, somebody is like coming and pressing the keys for a long time. We need to check whether what's going to happen. But it's a cool feature for a scalper. So who want to enter and exit at a split second? There are also some smart orders we use to close all the open positions and all those things. All those things we are not including everything in one shot. It's very difficult to build in within 2 hours of session. It's very, very difficult to build everything. So I'm going to leave it as a basic prototype only. So you press the keyboard and then order get punched and you have some dashboard to monitor what you had done. Let's see, is there anything to check? Lanes. Badges are coming fine. Quantity. And let's punch the orders. It's again facing an issue. And now it says CSRF token is missing. I don't know, maybe JavaScript. Can you check what you've done in voice-based trading? How you handle the CSRF tokens? The voice-based trading, how we are done, same way only we have to fix over here as well. Earlier it had done exactly properly, but now it is missing. If this is done, we call it a day. We'll push the codes to GitHub and then we'll call it a day. And later on, once everything is completed properly, there's a reasonable features, documentation, everything is done, then only I'm going to push it to the main branch. Until then, it's going to be under the place order branch only. Because a lot of enhancements, a lot of improvements are yet to be done. Whenever I'm having some free time, I'll try to work on OpenTerminal. I'll be fixing it. I'll be adding new controls, all those stuff. But for time being, what are the work we have done so far? A lot of bug fixes, a lot of micro improvements need to be done. Once it is done, while releasing it, we'll be releasing with proper documentation, proper idea about what exactly each and every module is doing, and proper bug fixes. Majorly, there is no bug fixes. All these are like minor issues only. Okay, let's save this. Scalper.js is having the CSRF. But I don't know, last time I think scalper.js only it should have the scalper.js. Only it should have that CSRF tokens. Yeah, all right. So I think this should work if I'm not wrong. Let's go with Reliance, MAS, CNC, and NRML. And we'll select 5 quantities. Up arrow, yes, the order is getting placed, right? So it's getting processed. See, the order has been getting fired over here. So that's cool that this is working. So I'm going to push it back to the GitHub. Minor UI improvements. UI in the sense user interface. So we have a tracker, we have a dashboard, we have like kind of stats. Maybe the stats, if it should come at the top, it should be looking good, right? So it's at the bottom. So it's not looking good at all. Maybe I want the recent orders should be at the top. Right now, it's the old orders are at the top, and the bottom is having the other orders. Timing is not looking correct. Time is like 3:14 p.m. But what I'm getting is like 9:43:54. I don't know from where it is getting this time. So timing also will issue a fix. So two things here. Number one, or three things here. Number one, the order stats should go to the top. And number two, order timing is not showing IST value. Uh, I don't know from where it is getting the IST value, but it's not showing the IST value. Maybe it is. So what's the time now actually? 9:43. What's the time here? 3:15. Which is like approximately some 6 hours difference, right? 6 hours or 5:30 hours difference. You're going back. I think it's trying to convert an Indian timing. It is trying to convert into GMT or something. So order timing is not showing IST value. That's second thing. And third one, recent order in the order history should be at the top, not added to the bottom. Okay, let's see. So three things here. Order start should be at the top, and order timing should not showing IST value. Recent orders in the order history should be at the top, not at the added to the bottom. So means it should be in an latest order should be on the top. If I would have done the same thing with Chat GPT and Claude Sonnet chat model, right? I think it would have done, at least we would have taken another 4 more sessions to complete this. We would have completed, but it would have taken a long time because every time we have to back and forth copy that job itself will be wasting your time there. Copying from here to there and then copying from there to here. But one advantage is like your cost is like only $20 in an entire month itself. But here the API is, because of this, the API is getting chargeable, but for the productivity cost only we are paying here. All right, I think scalper.html is done. Scalper.js is also done. Go back and see. Order history is coming over here. Okay, that's also looking good only. Oh, it's completely filled up, right? So let's try with some other symbol. Maybe Nifty future, November future. Okay, and we'll go with NRML. 25, or let's say like 50 is a large number of shares. Let's see if new order should come in the top. The timing is still not Indian timing. That's fine. That we'll figure it out later on. Yeah. So we're getting this up, down, up, down, up, down. It's placing those orders. That's cool. So things are working fine. I'm gonna update this as well. UI fix for scalper. This UI is looking cool. Definitely, it's looking cool. But only fix that we need is like the timing is still not IST. It says like also updated to show IST timing for consistency. I don't know from where it's getting the timing. Let's see where you are getting the timestamp. Don't modify the code. Don't modify the code. Just answer. Because sometimes you ask, right? So it'll start coding on its own. It's just thinking that I'm asking to change the timestamp or something. So I just need only reasoning. Why is the reason I want where you're getting the timestamp. So don't modify the code, just answer. Because it is this agent is trained to code here. Yeah. So the timestamp is coming from the order log model in the backend. So in the model, in the order log, we are storing. So in the backend, right, we are having an order log as well. From the order log only means we are already saving it in the database. So every order that we are sending it to the database. And I think that orders, is already in IST, I think. I mean, I think the orders are already in the IST timestamp. Is it doing a conversion here for IST? The timestamp is included in the order data when fetched from scalper orders. The dictionary method order converts the timestamp. So here they're converting the timestamp to ISO format. So they're just changing it to ISO format. To fix the IST timestamp display, we should modify the timestamp at the backend level in order log model rather than converting in the front end JavaScript. It's saying like in the backend itself, it is displayed. Okay. So I think maybe we will, as of now, what we will do. So the order log is, we are already having an order log as well. That's a good thing. So maybe we'll add an order log as well. So can you build a separate route for display the order log in the route slash logs. Right, I'm going to add another log section as well for building, showcasing the logs as well. I think that could be cool if you have one more feature like displaying the logs with a cool front-end dashboard. Logs are essential. At least we'll get to know what are the details that we are having in the log, that what details that we are saving in the database. We are already saving it in the database. Like when we build the place order, right? Manually also, we are saving in the logs. Any order that we are sending, it's always saving in the log section. No, 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 no. It's just changing in the existing scalper route. Or is it creating new? Is it a new one? No, it's not a new one. I want to create a new route slash log, but not under scalper. And also add to the layout.html as well. So add log feature to the layout.html as well. I want to build a separate route, separate module for logs. We're already storing the logs, but we just need only a front-end display only for UI purpose only. Because in some time back, one of the user asked, can you build and show me how to do the logs? He's not there, but if he is watching the recordings, man, we are the one we are building for you. So it's creating the new logs.py, logs.html. Maybe if it requires log.js as well for sending the CSRF tokens. It should be pretty straightforward. So logs I want to display in a table format. And also it's having like order calculate statistics as well. It's having some interesting statistics. So buy, how many buy signal, how many sell, that it's showing as an statistics. That's good thing. All those statistics, it's sending it, everything, the stats it's sending, grouped orders it is sending. But remember, the scalper order is like memory, I mean, API hungry. Like we keep on calling the APIs every few seconds once to update the order stats in real time. So logs.py is done. Now we have logs.html. So hopefully we should have a logs dot. I don't know whether CSRF token is required here or not because we don't have any forms. It's just only a display only. CSRF, let's see. Now it's finally updating the layout.html. It'll be updating the nav section. So now we have like log section also we are having. Let's go back and check out the log section. Logs. Oh. So why it's not showing up? Yeah, I think it has to add in the, still we have to register the route, init.py we have to add. So a lot more things are still there. Yeah, app.py we have to register the route. All right, and then init.py. So two init.py we have to add, one inside the log folder itself and another one inside the route folder itself. If this speed breaker is not there, we can build 5 times faster. Right? So the API request failed is what it's keep on coming up every time. Let's see. I think still that init.py, it came, right? It came. So what do we have, like 34, 20, 54? What is this 44, 24, 20? So okay, these are like scalper orders. From scalpers alone, this many orders. And this is like full orders. That's kind of amazing. It had done with that. So I think the timestamp, right? So the timestamp only, what is the timestamp which has been stored only it is displaying. So that means we have to convert into IST format. It's saying like when you're storing itself, you should store in UTC format, right? So we have to store it in IST format. Let's check that one also. But so this one is like log feature, right? So log feature, logs feature implemented. Okay, the only problem is like timestamp storing. So that is getting into the database. Somehow we have to make sure that the database. Uh, so let's see. Can you check where the uh, check how the timestamp is handled when writing to the logs in the overall application? Also, let me know which code is responsible. Which Python code? Some Python code only should be writing in the backend. So which Python code is responsible? Please only provide reasoning. Don't code. I don't want it to code. So like what? For building a log feature, hardly like 5 minutes is what we had taken to build the log. It had built everything. CSRF we haven't added because we don't have forms. CSRF is only for bringing, if at all, if I'm having any forms, I have to add CSRF. So in log feature, we don't have any forms, just only display so far. No controls as of now. We can keep controls, search functionality, filters. So there we can keep filters and controls, but as of now, I don't want to build all those stuff. So two statistics we are having. One is from orders, another one is like scalpers. It says after analyzing the timestamp creation, whenever the order is sending, right, we are sending date time.utc as default. Both service.py and scalper.py create order logs. So actually, the voice log and the scalper logs only it is creating. It's only sending the timestamp. It is using the UTC timestamp. So I'm gonna say like both the places. Can we change the timestamp to IST? That's what I want to do. Because I want to display the IST timestamp. Existing database we cannot do, but any new orders that I'm going to place from here on, it should display the Indian timestamp. Because it's looking awkward when I'm seeing this timestamp. Tomorrow I'm going to refer. I'll not get the timestamp correctly. So we'll ask only to change the timestamp alone in voice service.py and scalper.py. These are the two culprits who are writing in UTC format. So it's also helping, is saying that you should keep it in a common place. Rather, you should not keep separately. As of now, we are keeping it separately. The log modules are separate and the place order routes are separate. So all those things we have to combine into one single place. It should always refer from one single place only. So that is what the optimization is all about. Next level of optimization. I mean, when we are writing code itself, we should have written that. But since on the fly that we are building features, we don't have time to design it properly. So whatever comes, only we are going to convert into design later on. So it's kind of, and we call this what, heuristic approach, kind of a trial and error kind of approach it is. Maybe what I want to say is these two files, can you change the timestamp to write as IST timings? So I'm going to press retry. I'm going to cancel it so that I'll be able to type. I'm going to say like these two files, both the places, can you change the timestamp to IST? So while writing itself, I want to write in a IST timestamp format. That's what I want to do. Oh, come on. 17K now. So two places it had done changes so far. There should not be many places to change, but some more places also it is changing. I don't know why, but we have to check it out. Maybe it could be adding some logs or something sometimes. Sometimes some places it will try to do some fine tuning. So let's check it very carefully what it had done. So daytime and PyTZ. PyTZ is the one which takes care of the local timings. And then, so here is what we're having a function to write it in an IST format. And then, so nothing much commenting only. So commenting, it includes that with the IST timestamp. And here it is getting the IST timestamp and it is writing the IST timestamp. Earlier, we don't have the timestamp at all. But I don't know what happened. We don't have the timestamp parameter at all, but I think the timing is automatically created in the database, I think. I think we should not be touching here. Maybe. So let's update both services file to handle ISC timestamps. First, let me check the database, right? I close the database. I'll go back, open database. And then I have to go to where? Open terminal, something like new, right? Open. Did I mention open algo new? No, not this one. Where did I kept? anyways, we'll try this. Let's see. Maybe this could be updating in IST time format. So first we'll try with keyboard scalping maybe. Go to scalper, something like BHEL, quantity, press the up arrow. Still it is writing in, still I'm not getting the data in, I'm just getting in IST only. So front end itself, we can handle it, but somehow it's not recommended. Front end itself, we can say like convert from UTC to IST, it will convert. So that's pretty simple and straightforward. Yeah. Oh, now only it's updating the scalper service. Later on, earlier it was updating only the voice service. Now only it's updating the scalper service. Let me go back and check now again. BHEL. Yeah, now it's updating 340, right? You can see that IST time only is getting updated. That means that got fixed. So voice order also, I'm sure it would have got fixed. Log has been completely fixed now, right? So to store timestamps in IST instead of UTC. That's what the thing is all about. So let's see what are the features that are built. So there's an empty space over here, right? So this empty space, I'm just thinking of integrating some plain vanilla candlestick charts. So by default, it loads Nifty. Maybe if somebody is pressing Reliance, automatically it opens up here. It also opens up the Reliance chart as well, or maybe some chart icon. I'm just leaving that space over here. I thought like maybe I'll try to bring some heat maps to fill this area. Now I thought like maybe I'll try to later on I'll add trading view charts. In one of our session, I told you how to get the angel data into trading view. Trading view is what I'm just thinking to integrate some historical data here. So that's why the empty spaces. There are a couple of questions here in the Q&A section. So Sudip Ghosh is asking, can we execute price in the confirmation message as well? Sell order in red, buy order in green. Sudip Ghosh, maybe I'm not getting your question. Maybe I can unmute you. You can speak back. Yes, Sudip, you can. Yes, you are unmuted. You can speak back. I'm not getting your question properly. You're saying like, can we execute?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I was saying, so it
Means
is,
executed trades you're talking about, right?
sorry,
Confirmed trades.
I did not get you.
So you're talking about executed price in the sense confirmed trades you're talking about.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, we can bring. The thing is like we have to fetch it from the trade book. So any new trade book has been added, we have to store it, but it's not recommended. I'll tell you why. It's not recommended. The reason is like a trade book. If you're gonna place order in trade book, I mean, if a order is getting confirmed, Then we have to fetch the trade book and we have to periodically, we have to store it in the database and then we have to bring it in the front end automatically. That will be calling a lot of unwanted APIs. And trade book itself, most of the brokers will put a rate limit of every 1 second you can call only one trade book only. So it's not a good idea to go pull the order book and trade book very frequently. We're not bringing any order book or trade book. Any orders that we are sending manually here, only those things I'm bringing in the logs. This log contains only scalper order logs. It's not confirmed order logs. Confirmed order logs can I bring? If you ask me, it's not a good idea because every time that will call the trade book and we don't know which trade has been executed because of what. And trade book alone, if let's say sometimes if I'm going to send 100 orders, then 5 orders will be sent for the a certain price. Again, another 50 shares will be executed at a different price. So trade book also doesn't shows one single order price. Order book we can check, we can match. But again, calling the order book also, we have to match with the order ID because we have the order ID here, right? So we can match with that. But again, the challenge remains the same thing, right? You have to call the order book very frequently. Either you have to call the order book frequently.
Then how can I understand what is the slippage? So let's say I wanted to execute at
If you
price
want to
20.
implement a slippage, you can call and build an application. I'm not saying like it is not possible, but it is not recommended, is what I'm saying. But
No,
if you
even
want
in
to build
order
an
history, can
application,
I?
yes, you can do that.
Yeah, in order history or in order book, can we see the executed price as well?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
in the order book itself, we can do that. Only you have to refer the order book only because here we can check the order is completed or not. You have to match the order ID with your order ID. What price probably your system is sending that you have to record it somewhere. And what price the execution got confirmed, you have to get it from the price section. Then you have to match it and then you have to find the slippage. That is possible. But for that, you have to call the order book very frequently and there is a rate limiting is there. You cannot call every 1 second. You can call only once order book, right?
okay.
So
And this price will show the executed
individually,
price.
if you are doing it's fine, but if you're doing it for multiple person, it is not recommended. That will be bringing a lot of unwanted queries to your server. That's what we call as an API abuse, right? Individually, yes,
Okay.
you can build on those things. It's doable. You can individual purpose or maybe like 5 accounts or 3 accounts, you can do that. But if you're going to build for something like for 1,000 people, 10,000 people, that will lead to API abuse. Your server will be hit with a lot of queries every second. Because he'll be
Okay.
keep on polling the order book every second continuously, and that will be wasting the resources.
Okay, sir. And can we have a multi-leg order as well? Is it possible?
Where you are asking about?
I mean, in Scalper,
Yeah,
let's say
scalper.
I want.
I said like I'm not sure whether when you had joined, we said like multi orders also possible, but I'm gonna leave it with a basic framework itself. All I have to do is like I want to send whenever I'm sending here, I'm sending only one legged order over here. This is like I'm gonna have multi-leg orders. I can send basket orders. That is possible. It's gonna take one more prompt, nothing much. Maybe 1 or 2 prompts. We should be able to get that done. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna leave it with the basic examples.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also said like up arrow means call option, down arrow means put option. I mean, down arrow means exiting the call option. Left arrow is like buying a call put option, and right arrow means exiting the put option. Like that also we can build, but as of now we're not building those things. I can bring the real time web sockets here. I can calculate the M2Ms over here. These are like improvisation, which one have to improvise from here on. They can customize the way they want. But all those things we're not going to build here because we have very limited time. So we're not going to build those things. So basic logs, basic scalper, basic voice-based orders. And so all those things what we'd implement is like very basic only, but still a lot of area to improvise from here on, which I'll be doing it so time to time. When I'm finding some time, I'll be adding something on top of this. Yeah, I guess that answers your query.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anybody else? There is, as I said, there is only one thing which is pending here. Let's go and see what is that. So what is promised and what we have done. I think we have this about section, right? Where is that about section? We are not displaying the about section at all. So in the about section, real-time watch list done, placing orders from watch list done, order book and holdings, order book, trade book, all those things, holdings, funds, all those things comes under this. That has been done. Trailing stop loss and M2M square off, which is what it is still pending. So two features are still there, which I'm gonna do only during the live market only. Maybe we'll be having a special live session. If you guys are not able to attend, still you'll be getting the recordings. And voice-based trading done, keyboard-based scalping done. So only this block only, it is pending, which we are gonna do only during the live session only, right? Yeah, Rahul Edward is having a question. Yes, Rahul, please go and ask your question.
To add charts in this app.
So you have to use this trading view lightweight charts. So that's a front end JavaScript is what you have to use, not the backend stuff. Backend also Python based lightweight charts is there, but we are going to see it in the front end, right? So we have to use a trading view lightweight charts. So JavaScript module is what you have to use. So
Okay.
this JavaScript, you have to they have a brief documentation about it. So you can bring these kind of controls. You can bring your own indicators. So all these indicators you may have to calculate in the back end, right? So because this doesn't calculate the indicator in the JavaScript, or this is like for open source people. If you are a business, as I said, there is another way you can get that. They have probably they have one more feature called advanced chart. I think this is what most of the brokers are using, either charting libraries or advanced charts. Yeah, advanced chart, I believe. Advanced chart. So where you can, this is what Zerodha and everybody is using. Zerodha, Upstocks, Angel, ICICI, all the brokers in the Indian markets are using this one only. And I was one of the first guy to integrate this back in 2016 or 17. Me and first I integrated, and then followed by that Capital Mine integrated. Back then we take the data from the exchange. But now almost every broker is using that. So we stopped providing the charts in our websites. So this library, but it requires a permission. I think you have to go there, and then you have to submit a request form, and then you have to start using the library. So there you will be getting inbuilt indicators, all the super trend, RSI, MACD, all those things will be happening at the JavaScript side itself. If you want to use lightweight charts, you can show the data, but all the indicator calculation, you have to do it from the back end. That's not a good idea, but with lightweight chart, that's what we can do. So you can show streaming codes like this. You can show very interesting stock area, heat map stuff. Some basic things you can do with that. But indicators, any indicators you want to do, you have to calculate it manually. I mean, in the back end, you have to write some Python code to do that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All right. So I think anything else? You have any question, you can ask me. Rahul, Sudip, Nitin, Shankar.
No, sir, I'm done.
All right. All right. So Nitin and Shankar, any questions? All right then. So if there are no questions, let me pause here. So there is one more final thing. The main thing is the trailing stop loss stuff, which we will be implementing in the live session. I'll try to send an live market invite, so you can come and you can watch that. There is one question from Nitin Srivatsava. Yes, Nitin, please go and ask a question.
Sorry, sir, the chat was still disabled.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, no problem.
yeah, I enabled it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just wanted to know, in future, if I wanted to get in touch with you, if I have some questions or guidance I needed, is there a easier way to get in touch with you?
So we have this Slack community. I'm sure you would have onboarded. So market
I
call.
haven't got any response from the support team. I asked for permission to be added on it.
let me also insist, you also put a word to them. I'll also insist saying that I'll ask them to send a re-invite. So here we have this Python community, or if in case you want to join our open source community as well, I'm also active there as well. So Discord, we are having an open source community. So you can invite yourself by going to OpenAlgo. From here, you can go to docs. This is a community exclusively for OpenAlgo users. So you can go to the docs, and from here you can go to Discord. So you can go and invite yourself. There's only a community about developers and mostly developers, and there are few traders also there who's using OpenAlgo.
So here you would respond, right?
Yeah, I'll respond. Anything about OpenAlgo, I'll respond here, or anything related to Python, definitely I'll respond.
Okay.
Or if you want to ask in a private community, we have a private community here. Here also we are having, but here it's fully traders. As of now, not much of a developers here. So I would recommend if in case if you want anything, you can ask in the Discord itself.
So if you can help me get on the Slack because I have some trading
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, sure. I'll ask my team to onboard. Definitely, you can onboard. And this commitment, what we are providing is like kind of a lifetime commitment, is what we've been providing. And this group itself active since 2016 onwards.
Okay. This will be very helpful if I can get into this.
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right then. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So thanks for your time and have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.